Hey there folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIII-2. I'm the mysterious Shay G. It's the black and white days, so expect Jackie Gleason to make a musing reference to beating, what is it, Joyce Randolph, who played, See the Stars, Art Carney, Audrey Meadows, Joyce Randolph. Anyway, we're going to see the Cramdens come to violent blows, but because it's black and white era, which is why, of course, Jamie and Zoe and the Doctor are going to have adventures too. But basically what's happening is Alyssa, she's kind of mad about the fact that she only exists because of a paradox, and we're trying to get rid of temporal paradoxes, so she's decided that she's going to allow the world to be consumed by temporal paradoxes, although, I mean, honestly, from her perspective, it doesn't really seem like that big a deal. Like, oh, the world will eventually be destroyed in 1,000,000 years. It's going to happen anyway, I guess, with heat death of the sun and stuff. I don't know, but... yeah, she's decided she's going to sabotage our efforts to save lightning and restore history to its proper balance, because that don't work for her. So somehow, in a way I don't fully understand, she sabotaged us, and now we've been separated from Noel, and are in the void beyond, here unknown. There's 5 fragments to get, and no narrative. Oh my god, this is extra scary! We're also an episode, question, so I think we've started a new act of the story here, which should mean that the next time I load my game, we'll get a new Final Fantasy XIII, The Story So Far montage. Final Fantasy XIII-2, The Story So Far, that phrase is said by various narrators, a handful of key characters in the game, and pretty much all the DLC characters that you can fight against. Oh, Caius is just going to kick his ass. He's by himself. He doesn't have a girl to protect him. He stabbed him with a feather. Time marches on, the void beyond. Interesting. Episode 5. Quick, we gotta find more text floating around on rocks.
Is this void beyond? No! Mog!
Oh, her weapon is here, even though Mog isn't. I don't really understand that.
Come on, Mog. What's wrong? Why won't you answer me? This can't be.
Oh, I shouldn't have second-guessed that, because now I don't have a weapon.
Where did Noel get to? How do I find him?
What's going on, Holmes? Well, surely if, okay, so you don't have access to Mog here, even though you do in the other locations. When he's in Visomog. This is like riding without ride sharing during World War II. You have Invisible Hitler in your car. As anybody who's looked at like World War II propaganda posters knows.
Come on, Mog. What's wrong with you?
There's something wrong with Mog. Come on, jump. Be happy and excited. Most of the buttons are not doing anything, by the way. It doesn't look like I'll be able to level her up right now, because this is a non-combat plot zone. So she's just going to do the I am shivering arms crossed walk thing.
Wait, is that Yeul?
Oh, I know her. She's a plot character. She'll help me out. What up, Yeul?
You're Yeul, aren't you?
You're.
I am one of many Yeuls. From your perspective, I am a Yeul from the ancient past.
You bitter old woman.
But
Anime has taught me that 2 things can happen when females talk to each other. They can, if they are, different ages, They will either the younger one will mock the older one for being an old hag, or the older one will mock the younger one for having smaller breasts. These are the only two forms of communication that are possible between two female characters, according to anime. Let's continue the story.
Where are we? Are we trapped in this place?
And why are your boobs so small?
I am not truly here. I only watch events from a distant time.
I'm on TBS time. I am at 5 after, and you are on the hour.
It is a shadow of Valhalla. In the depths of the unseen realm, I see you held prisoner.
Oh, great. Not a chance to win stupid shit to put on your creatures or lose. Is this some sort of trap? What kind of world is Valhalla? Sarah's trapped in the shades of Valhalla. How do I get out of here? Did I get trapped here alone? It's a trap?
Is this a trap someone left for me? Has someone locked me in here on purpose?
Yeah, lying
Yes.
bitch.
The broken key was your undoing, and your betrayer is one known to you.
Mog!
I heard her voice. I am sure of it.
Are you saying I can't ever leave?
I'm trying to tell you who it was betrayed you, but you don't
If
seem
you
to
do
care.
not escape, the dream will go on forever.
Wait, don't go!
Don't worry, I'm gonna appear elsewhere, so you just have to keep walking along, not encountering any enemies, until the next time you talk to me at another yellow plot point on the map. Oh, I discovered a fragment, Etro's Sorrow. Alright, now I'm curious. Generally, the fragments give you some kind of narrative description. Sorry. Eul's confessions. Etro granted the most selfless of gifts. Her power and strength flowed through the gate to the unseen world, and with each passing second, she grew weaker and weaker. Now the goddess sleeps within the heart of the chaos. Believe in the heart of the cards. Should she cease to exist, then the power that she granted humanity, the power that makes the universe whole, will disappear. When the sands of time run out on the goddess, so do they too on the world of man. Well, geez, maybe she should have set things up so that, like, she wasn't constantly dying from giving us her power or whatever you're saying is going on. Uh-oh. I guess I do have combat abilities again.
Take this!
Come on, don't we have dialogue? Sisters be doing it for themselves, literally. Noel's not here anymore. Oh, man. I was hoping I could set it up so that she has two monster allies. So we don't need Noel back. Forget that. But apparently we don't get to do that. Libroscope. That's a game changer. I don't really feel like dealing with you guys. If I can help it, I probably can't. Oh, I can. So attempting to avoid talking to Yeul doesn't seem to help. Although maybe it does. Never mind, we can probably avoid talking to Yeul, so let's go talk to Yeul. I wonder what our percentage exploration is here. 100%. Oh, cool.
You're a different Yeul, aren't you?
You're angry, Yeul.
Yes. You have not met me yet. I call your present age my home.
But I'm in my
You and
late
I are the
teens.
same. We are blessed by Etro, her chosen servants.
But you're
Servants of
old
the
hag and
goddess?
I'm cool.
The power to step outside the timeline. The power to witness the future. These gifts come from Etro. Her servants are known by her blessings.
Why are you so pissed? Cool. How is she connected to lightning? What does a servant do? Is Yeul a servant too? What kind of goddess is she? I think she'd be asking about lightning, I guess.
My sister is also somewhere in Valhalla. What's her part in all this?
She is
The
Etro, I
warrior.
guess, in some weird-ass
She
way.
stands guard over Etro's temple. She is unable to leave the unseen realm. And so
She's outside of the
she
visible
turned to you
spectrum.
for aid.
Anyway, bye! I hope that's all you wanted to know, because that's
So
all
the
it...
ability to change the future is a gift from the goddess herself.
Pretty cool. Kai's sword. Okay, apparently we answered those questions correctly to get rewards. And now when we come up here, you will be waiting with more dialogue. Imagine you guys will be in the way when I try to talk to her if I don't take you out.
It's over. Don't celebrate just yet.
Okay, now we can celebrate. Before I finish saying don't celebrate just yet, we'd already defeated them. I feel silly.
I suppose you're another Yeul as well.
Yes.
I suppose you're another.
I am from
guess
the
you're
future,
not Ames
who will
either.
never know.
I don't even care if you're
Very
Ames.
soon, my presence here will fade. There is little time to tell you of the things I have seen.
I should really pick up the pace.
So she didn't even... Oh, I guess I was reading the fragments as we went for whatever reason. You know, if I want to read all of the supplementary material in this game on screen, I will have a lot of reading to do near the end. But Pulse's resolution. When the people of Cocoon first came down to the surface of Grand Pulse, magic filled the earth. Among the people, there were those who awakened to this power. I saw it happen.
I saw the time distorted and twisted. When the timeline was changed and history broken, fissures appeared in the wall that separates the spirit and the material. The crystal power that was once bestowed only upon Sailor Moon and her friends, the Lassie, was released, and it permeated deep into the soil. Now normal humans can spin enchantment and spells, if they know how.
Magic is easy, if you know the secret.
The part of humans we call soul is a gift of the goddess, and all of our hearts flickers a small piece of the chaos of Valhalla.
This actually connects in with the third game. I never read the supplemental stuff. I kind of find it irritating that you would be expected to do a bunch of supplemental reading to understand the game, that the narrative wouldn't explain it to you within the game. But there is a bunch of stuff in this third game that makes a lot more sense when you actually read all this crap, I have to admit.
From Valhalla, you can see every age, every timeline. I see the future because Valhalla lives in my heart. The Eyes of Etro is not a unique gift reserved for the special. Every human who claims a soul can gaze into the future. There's nothing special about me. I'm suck. I'm terrible. I'm worth nothing.
And then, like, Gaius has to comfort her. It's really kind of touching. But never mind, she warped back over here.
Once upon a time, there were 6 and 1 Lassie, and their story is a miracle.
Oh, you making fun of the first game there?
Bound through the completion of a focus that belonged to the One.
The 6.
Billy Gunn.
That was lightning and snow and the others. And the 1, that would be me?
That's right. You were not playable, but you're clearly the main character.
Wind's tenderness. Keep reading.
Our bodies are made of the blood of the goddess, our souls are formed of the chaos. She's bestowed upon us, Sparseers or an ancient people. Embrace the chaos more than any other. They were Pulse's oldest tribe, and I was their seeress.
Oh, this one's got 2.
The power to see the future, the power to travel the timeline, the power to bend monsters to your will, the power to remember in your dreams.
I do tend to not remember my dreams.
Even when the timeline has changed, they are manifestations of hidden chaos, and in a chosen few, these powers are great indeed, such as the blessings of the goddess.
She seems to be really, like, blissed out by whatever the hell that People's Choice Award is there. The chaos engine that allows her to see Kyros visions of power or whatever. Now we're to head up here. Okay.
The goddess Etro saw that the Lassie fulfilled their tasks. She saw their courage and took pity on them. She blessed the 6 and the 1 and one other, a child.
Who's the
and
child?
so she released them from the prison of crystal.
You mean it was the goddess who saved us that day?
Retcon!
Yes, but in doing so, she warped time itself. Etro was fading away, and she could not restore it.
Without this retcon, the ending of Final Fantasy XIII-1, I guess. Yeah, everybody except Fang, I guess. So Fang didn't really get this. Gets turned into crystal. Or no, not everybody. Okay, so all the characters who are from, you know, you can go back and watch it on my channel. It's the last video before everything goes to shit, and I had to do a slideshow at the end because of copyright strikes. But the ending of Final Fantasy XIII has a lot of confusion, and part of it is Lightning, Saz, Hope, and Snow all turn into Seath, which is what's supposed to happen to you if you don't do your focus on time. But then they all turn back, and they say it's because like the power of moon crystal power in their hearts and whatever. It would have made a lot more sense if Bartandalus was like messing with Fang and Vanille and gave them visions of their friends turning into Seath, but they didn't really turn into Seath. It didn't make sense for Bartandalus to turn them into Seath anyway, because what he wanted them to do was to destroy Orphan, and they couldn't really do that as Seath, so it was all pretty out there. But now it's being retconned that they were turned into Seath, but the goddess saved them. Oh, and the child, I guess that's Dodge. So, yeah. So the goddess Etro saved them, but now she warped time itself. So basically we're finding out this is all our fault.
But perhaps you had the power to repair the distortion. And perhaps you did.
Exactly.
Perhaps I did.
That perhaps is Yeul's catchphrase.
What
Exactly.
do you mean? Is it too late now?
No, it's of
The
course.
future? I can no longer see it.
You broke my eyeballs.
So... Oh, wow. Stairs appeared to help us climb. Like, there's a tiny little thing that we couldn't get over that was going to keep us trapped forever, except now there's little stairs. And the last one, Bunavel's asleep.
In the physical world, it contains within its form endless chaos. By the will of the deities, it gives birth to all living things. I speak of crystal. The eternal dream world of the crystal lies within the unseen world. Even the gods long to find their way to that place. In all crystal, the heart that shines most brightly is called Bunavelza.
Plot of the next game has to do with God trying to recreate the world, which is what Bartandalus was trying to get to happen in the first game, I suppose, but yeah, it gets weird. And it's not certain that God recreating the world is a great idea, necessarily. Fine, I guess I have to... Okay, I just barely don't have to fight it. They kind of set it up so that I thought I had to fight it at the end, and then at the last second I didn't have to fight it. Yeah, these stairs appeared. Without these stairs, there's no way I could have hopped down and looked at that thing.
What up, gangsta?
You're Yeul too. Which era do you come from?
I'm from the future where you're dead. Just got different hair now.
I am the one who lives in all the ages. I am the one who dies in all the ages.
I come from everywhere and nowhere.
I am the one who suffers countless partings again and again.
It's all your fault.
Have you come to tell me something?
You suck. That's what I'm here to tell
summoned
you.
me here, in this place, you can see all your heart's desires come true.
And all you desire is a big crystal thing to be sitting right there.
Look, this is the place where all time flows. The dreams of humanity are here washed ashore. A world without beginning or end. A world closed upon itself.
Oh, so
Why
like
do you want to change time?
homebrew comic books.
Why do you try to stand in his way? Why do you continue on this journey?
I hate you so much. Look at the
As
violence
you
of
change
my...
the timeline, you come closer to death.
Okay.
But now,
Your journey is over.
Whoa, hey, dude, you look different without the veil. Oh. The veil is keeping a horrible breath.
You don't need to.
So if you understood, it would mean that it was really dumb, and any moron could understand. Alright, let's see if I remember how, Oh, never mind. I was trying to remember how the actual combat works. Apparently this was a very easy plot battle. Because lightning defeated him before I had a chance to even go in and try to change paradigms there.
You fight bravely.
But you still suck. Well, you're better than Noah was by himself.
Yeul gave up much more quickly than this.
Well, we haven't been fighting that long.
What have you done to him?
Made him give up.
He is living in a time and place where he knows only joy.
From the cross-faced chicken when he had to give
acknowledged
in.
his defeat, and now he is at peace.
Oh, no way, dude.
No, I don't believe you. Noel would never give in to
I
you.
told you, I put him in the cross-faced chicken wing. There's no way out. Am I supposed to understand what's happening? You shot me in the head.
Child of miracles, traveler of time, guided by XIII, listen to me.
You suck.
Each time you fulfill a wish of your heart, someone else's dream is shattered.
Yeah, but as long as my wishes are fulfilled, it's all good, right?
You conjure miracles, but when you do, the seeds of tragedy are sown in other lives.
As long as this is yours and
Are you
yours.
prepared to bear that burden, that responsibility?
Oops. I wonder if that battle we fought against him was supposed to be a lot harder than it was to make this feel like he's super strong.
Fight us.
To save her.
Who's her?
Long ago, the goddess XIII rescued you and your friends from your fate as Lassie.
But that wasn't fair, so I'm
For
happy
you,
about
it
that.
was a miracle. For you, a sentence of death. In that moment, immutable history was transformed.
Yeah, but what did she do to make her so
Time
great?
was twisted. With each distortion of the future, the life of the seeress was cut short. So often have I seen this.
It's getting kind of boring,
Seen her
actually.
wilt before my eyes. When time is in flux, the future changes, and Yeul is consumed. So I will dam the river of time and tear down the foundations of history.
Okay.
Only then will your suffering come to an end.
You're going to destroy history just so you can save Yeul?
She's not that great.
You have interfered with my task at every turn.
I feel like we're in the right here.
I will slay the goddess and return everything to Valhalla.
And I've got a weird erect triangle thing of leather on my fist.
You will be free for eternity.
Guys,
I want to help you with this plan.
So, if you get it, let me know.
Now to your heart's desire.
I'd be interested to see if she wants lightning or snow back. Like, which one pops up first. Anyway, so apparently, somehow, when... at the end of the last game, when those 4 characters got turned into Seath, and then... Well, the goddess Etro came in and, like, helped everybody out. It also included uncrystalifying Sarah and Dodge. Somehow this sentenced Yeul to death, but Yeul has been, like, reborn countless times for some reason, which may or may not have anything to do with the death thing. That's what I get confused. It's like, was Yeul being reborn continuously anyway? But now she's reborn only to constantly die, I guess. They seem, it's like every time we do something with history is spiraling out of control, and every time we set it back to its proper course, one of a series of infinite reviving Yeuls dies. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but that's as close as I've ever come to understanding the storyline of Caius and Yeul, which is that Yeul keeps getting reborn and killed again over and over and over because of time magic, and Caius has decided that it sucks that she has to keep dying, which I suppose is traumatic, although you would think that, like all other things, that it would eventually you would become hardened against it, but I guess it's pretty traumatic for her to die over and over and over, and therefore, Caius is going to unmake the whole space-time continuum, or history, or something. He's going to plunge the world into eternal chaos, because somehow in eternal chaos, Yeul doesn't suffer. Not sure if that captured it with the right detail, but I think that's pretty much the story of Final Fantasy XIII-2. The actions of the goddess Etro in letting you guys live at the end of the last game, even though all this stuff lined up that say that you didn't get to, that is what has caused all these crazy time things. But you fixing those crazy time things is hurting this little girl, and big crazy feather sword guy is trying to stop you from hurting this little girl. Make sense? Makes sense. All right, folks, when we come back, Sarah is experiencing her heart's desire, which is apparently lying around and feeling sincerity because her hands are kind of over her chest. When we come back, we will obviously be experiencing some kind of fantasy world where everything is wonderful for Sarah, because pretty much that's what Caius already told us. But it's going to be like that one episode of G.I. Joe where a shipwreck had the family, but like people were melting into like, goo, and then it turns out that he was in some kind of like secret Cobra experiment. It's going to be just like that, folks. So stand by next time for an episode where shipwreck has a family, but people melt into goo as part of a Cobra experiment. That's totally what's coming. Bye-bye.